time.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to another edition of the Narrator podcast. And I'm your host, Halsey Allen. What's up, all my narrators? Hello, everybody. All my new listeners that's tuning in right now. So my narrators, they already know the demonstration. They already know what my platform is about. This is the Narrator podcast, home of original people, reciprocity and positivity. So all things positive and all things original on the Narrative podcast. So for the new people not acquainted with my podcast, I'll just give you a brief summary, what the podcast is all about, what it entails, what I do here on it. So let's start first at the title, the narrative. The narrative came to me by noticing that the media is always trying to flip the narrative about original people and original culture to fit their narrative, which is to basically sell news. And when is original people not ever been news? The type of news they want to sell is negative. They want to depict this in a negative light. They want to generate and perpetuate negative stereotypes within our culture. So basically, they try to, weaponize the media against us. They try to make us appear a certain way. It's intentionally done. Make no bones about it. It's intentionally done. Again, the primary reason is to sell news, to make money, of course. And the other reason is to, sustain their dominant societies, economic foothold on the resources by keeping us, separated from wealth and other tangibles, or the tangibles that will help us acquire wealth. So to, basically keep the wealth gap where it's at. They basically try to hypercriminalize men, hypersexualize women. They're always showing us in dysfunction and disarray, disenfranchised, in toxic relationships, in violence, in poverty, you name it, all things negative and all things bad. That's what the frames of reference the media gives you about original people. So on my platform, what I want to do is give you positive frames of reference about original people and original culture. As a matter of fact, my tagline is the Narrator podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about original people and original culture. The ultimate takeaway that I want my listeners to grasp is that how important it is to post positive content online. Whatever your platform is, post positive content, because the content you post these days is a direct correlation and representation of yourself. Like employers, they kind of they look at your social media, even if you have it set to private. They'll make a decision on whether or not to hire you. So same premise, people outside of our culture use that same premise. So like if you're always posting gang culture, drug culture, thought culture, they're going to associate you with the content that you post online. So like, not saying you have to be super serious and super woke, but you do have to, post, positive content, post leadership, entrepreneurialism, good family structure, um, virtuous stuff, righteous stuff on your timeline. As a matter of fact, I also call my core listeners my narrators. And that's the reason why I call them my narrators, because we all have the capacity to change the narrative with these handheld devices that we walk around with all day. So we're all content creators in some small capacity, because the content you post, or the content you share online is content. So whether you're a small business, or just doing it for leisure, but doing it for entertainment, you're still a content creator. So we got to be mindful about the images that we put out about ourselves. Ultimately, you cannot change another person's mind. If they got in their mind that they don't like original people, um, to each their own. You're not going to change their mind. But what you can do is tell your own story, because the media, they're telling our story, inaccurately. History has shown us that if you don't tell your own story, you will have your story told for you. And there's no, greater example of telling your own story than American history. American history has lied about our entire existence. Everything in they teach us in school is completely inaccurate and false. Our history did not begin with slavery. But that's basically what my podcast is about. So let's go back to the original theme, and then we'll dive into, my content, give you a brief rundown. So recently I had a epiphany about the word black. And it's come to my realization that black is often associated, with all things negative. You go to the Mediterranean dictionary or the Oxford dictionary, and you look at the word black, there's a negative connotation surrounding it. Like all the adverbs, verbs, nouns, pronouns, all that are negative to describe the word black. Black, dreary, gloomy. Black is also associated with death. Now, being an original people in the early times when civilization first started, we didn't call ourselves black. This is something people that did not look like us came up with, and they did that, with that knowledge. The words you speak kind of take on form, and they have an energy surrounding them, and your words manifest reality. So if you're always saying something, basically how they got the English language set up, black signifies death and the end of all things, and we're anything but dead and ending. We're moving and advancing forward. We actually started in nurtured civilization. Civilization came from us and began with us. Now I'm getting to the original part, because we were the original man and the original woman on this planet. And there's no more positive word than original. The original, it represents first. And sometimes the original, in most cases, original is the best. So not saying we're superior to anyone, but I think original, better suits us than black, in my opinion. So on my platform, I refer to our people as original. So I'm not like super deep, super woke. I definitely do not hate being black, so it's not a self-hate thing. It's more of a self-awareness thing. I don't think I'm reaching. Um, just perception. So, on my platform, I try to say incorporate original as often as possible, but I will say black in some instances, like some instances to save time. If I'm running short on time, if I got stuff to do, um, if I'm sharing information from an article, a direct quote in you know, something on the quote or in the article says black in reference to us, I'm gonna say black. So, I'm not that hard up and super woke like that. But yeah, I try my very best to, acknowledge and change my speech pattern when needed. And I think that's something we should all do is just watch our speech pattern and watch our tone because words are power. So you must understand the words you're using and how you're using it, and in the context of the words also, because I believe in the power of words on this platform. Words are powerful. Words give birth to, reality. All right. So about to dive into this content. Before I dive into this content, I want to first give you a disclaimer. My podcast is monetized. So when I share this information back on all platforms, you'll probably hear some advertisements, and sometimes the advertisements will occur during mid-speech. I'm recording right now, so I have, no say so or any warning when the ads will start occurring. I don't even know what is going to be advertised while I'm recording until I share it back online. So just a heads up warning. Now, about my content in general, I've devised my podcast into sections. Each section has a speaking point. And the reason I've done this is to save time and also to keep myself from just, veering from topic to topic, just all over the place. I want my content to resonate, and I want a nice cohesion and just have a nice flow. That's why I've done that, because when I started my podcast originally a couple years ago, been a couple years now since I've been doing this, well, at least about a year and a half. But anyway, I noticed when I first started doing it on my first couple of broadcasts, I was just talking and talking and talking. So, breaking it down into sections kind of prevents me from ranting and just keeps all my points centralized. And like I said, just, helps it flow better and, you can get something out of it like that. Because again, the ultimate takeaway I want you to get from my podcast is how important it is to share positive content about our people and our culture. All right, so no further ado, diving right into the content. My very first section is my promotional section, and in this section, what I'm doing is promoting or giving original people to own and operate their own business the opportunity to receive free business promotion from myself on my platform. I'm doing it 110% free. The reason why I'm doing that is to, do my part to, keep the original people dollars circulating in the original people community with the belief that, whoever reaches out to me, does for the community, like hires their own, you know, takes care of whatever the community that they're rooted in needs, like giving back to the less fortunate, feeding the hungry, doing for the elderly, doing for the children, sponsoring events in the community. So that's why I'm doing that. So again, if you need or like, if you're original people owned business, if you need or like some free promotion, hit me up at passionwebmail at poeticpassion.host. Body subject bar, type promo. Body of the email, tell me a little bit about yourself, business, product, or service. The more specific more specific information that you give me, the better, your promotional drop would be. Like I can advertise you way better with specific details. So like, for example, if you have a brick and mortar location, tell me, where it's located, hours of operation, and directions on how to get there. So like your email address, of course, if you're an online business, any other contact information, if you want to include like direct contact to you, if the consumer needs to reach out specifically to you about something, a little bit about yourself, your educational background, why you decided to sell that business, product, or service. Consumers want to know that type of stuff. All right. I think you got the gist of that. So on to my next section. This section is called the promotional or the contest section. And what I'm doing is I'm advertising a contest exclusively for my podcast, the Narrator podcast. And it's basically like an incentive reward type deal. So I want to, give new listeners some incentive to listen to me. And then I also want to reward, my current fan base, the ones that have been listening to me since day one, giving them the opportunity to get a free prize. And you can get in on this at that same exact email address I just gave for the for the free promotion for the businesses, except type something different in the subject bar. This is how I'm keeping them both separate. So for the contest is called the Chew On This Contest. In the subject bar to enter the contest, type Chew On This / or dash, which is ever more convenient for you. Shopping while black. And if you don't want to type the whole word shopping while black, you can just type SWB in all caps. In the body of the email, include your most recent shopping while black experience, as well as your mailing address so I know where to send your prize to. And, that's it. Your shopping while black experience, your mailing address, oh yeah, and the actual, the prize that I'm giving away is your snack, a bulk supply of your favorite snack. So tell me whatever your favorite snack is, and I will send you a bulk supply of it just for entering the contest. I'm not charging an entry fee, so it's 110% free. Like I said, it's an incentive type thing. And then also to, keep the conversation going about shopping while black, because this is an experience that happens in America and abroad. It's happened to all of us, all original people all over the world, and, to keep that dialogue going. I know the ultimate answer is, just do business with your own kind and stay in your own neighborhood. But, let's be realistic. You're going to have to go outside of your neighborhood at some point of time. You're going to have to do business with people that do not look like you. But in doing so, you still need to get treated like a human being. So if you ever experience a time where you weren't treated like a human being, like you were followed around the store as if you're going to steal something, or they just plain old didn't want to service you. You gotta keep that conversation going. All right, excuse me, y'all. I had to take a little sip of water. I don't know why I get so parched doing these, but I do drink plenty of water, but gotta hydrate when you need to hydrate. All right. So got those two sections down. I'm now basically into the meat of my podcast, the highlight section. In this section, what I'm doing is highlighting businesses, original people-owned businesses. And in this section, what I'm doing, the reason why I'm highlighting the businesses is to, get you to patronize businesses that do for us. So all the businesses I'll be highlighting are rooted in the community. They do for the community. So essentially, like when you take your business to them, you'll be helping a neighborhood and thus helping ourselves because they hire their own. Like most of them are family owned and operated. So, they're keeping the generational wealth thing going. Most of the business I highlight have some type of vocational training program to teach people skills, a skill set, so they'll know how to do something for themselves one day. Like if they don't want to, continue to work for them, they can branch out and take those skills that they learned at that business and do something else. Financial literacy, just, those are the types of businesses I highlight. People to do some type of philanthropy, some type of giving back. They either have their own nonprofit organization or, pay into a nonprofit organization or, like I said, do for the community. And my last qualifying factor is they align up with my theme. My current theme is the season of fall. So, without any further ado, on to the highlight section of the Narrator podcast. All right. So, like I said, it is the season of fall. And what happens in fall? I think we're gearing up for a special day. We're gearing up for that Turkey Day. Now, I know, Thanksgiving commemorates, the slaughter of the Native American, but in tradition, we still, celebrate that day. We all, get off work, and if we got work 9 to 5 jobs, we buy that little bird, all those carbs, and sit down, and it's family day, watch the football and all that, and blah, 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 blah. So, side tangent alert. Like I said, we was the original people. So when they say, what the Pilgrims did to the Native Americans, so they did it to us too, because most of us was already here. Just putting that point out there. Again, they called us black. Most of us was already here. They just, for some odd reason, they called the darker complected ones black. But I digress. On to the highlight section. My very first business. What do the businesses have to do with like Thanksgiving? I was going somewhere. I went off on my side tangent. So at the Turkey Day dinner, like one of the best, parts of the feast is the dessert. And what do we do as our people? We do them pies. I didn't mean to make that sound effect, but okay, I'm gonna rock with it. My cord grazed up against my board here. But yeah. So pies is big in our community. So these next few companies that I will be highlighting kind of specialize in pies. Now, me myself, I don't eat meat at all. Most of these pies are not vegan, but to each their own. Live your life, do what you do. But again, highlighting these companies because they do for the community, and we should patronize them. Patronize anybody down with the cause. All right. So, first business I will be highlighting is Cutie Pie's Bakery, and it's located in, let me see, did I put those? Mississippi. All right. So, the owner, the proprietor of this business is one Miss Karen Todd. She is a former military veteran. She started the business in 2015. She moved to. I'm just giving you the streamlined edition of this story. It's more like complex than that, so you can do your Googles and come up with the whole story. Again, I'm saying like just to save time, kind of streamlining. I'm just getting to the highlights. Thus the title. She started in 2015 when she moved in that area and kind of scouted around in that area and seen, what they need. And it was basically a food desert. So basically, she wanted to do something for the community and do something she liked to do as well, which was bake at the time. So reading in between the lines, she probably at some point in time cooked in the military when she was in the military. But like her first job, she was a HR. After she left the service, she was a HR for Kellogg's. And she decided to open a bakery shop. So her intentions with the bakery shop is to use the space to help other original people, especially in the arts community, to sell their paintings and statues, paintings, sell their books. Poets to do their poetry thing, and also she wants to utilize her spot to help children interested in entering the culinary field. So she also has a catering business, and that's what she does with the youth. Teaches them how to bake. So again, like I said, businesses that take care of the community. So you can hit her up at Cutie Pies Catering at Outlook.com to speak directly to her. Telephone numbers for Cutie Pies. This is the bakery shop at 662-874-3201. And I don't know why it's two different area codes, but 901-486-9511 for the catering side of it. Physical location is 1036 Goodman Road, East Mississippi, 38671. And once again, it was Cutie Pies. So we're going to give a warm narrative podcast round of applause for Miss Karen Todd and Cutie Pies Bakery. All right, moving right along. Our next business in the highlight section is I just love a good play on words. And this next one is a really good play on words. Justice of the Pies. Isn't that clever? That's clever. I like that. Justice of the Pies. So, this proprietor is one Miss Maya Camillo. Hope I'm not mispronounced her name. Brossard. She was inspired to do pies by their father, who was a criminal justice attorney, actually. And so, it's located out in Chicago, Illinois. When you go to the website, you will see, their main objective is to give everybody a fair shot. They believe in equal justice for all, so she does a lot of social activism. Again, and she also mentors youth as well. Just a second. Matter of fact, let me go up to the website because I think I forgot to put it in the notes. I think she actually has. Oh, yes, I did. My bad. I did put it in the notes. So she actually has a program that she has designed that works specifically for the youth. It's called I Need Love. Another play on words. I love play on words. I need love because in baking, you see, you need dough. Get it? I need love. All right. That's super clever. So, her whole complete story is right on the website. You can go to www.justiceofthepies. And once again, the physical location is in Chicago, Illinois. Don't have an actual just brick or mortar location. She does pop-ups. Oh my goodness, am I still on? Check 1, check 2. Okay, I'm still here. I don't know. It's just like I didn't see my EQ. This thing just be going crazy, man. But anyway, I'm still here. I'm rocking with you and knocking with you. All right. But yeah, Justice of the Pie, she has her own like pop-up situation. She goes to like different locations. She advertises the locations on Facebook. So you can go to Justice of the Pies on Facebook as well. Or to her website, Justice of the Pies. She got all kinds of varieties of pies. I believe she even got vegan options as well. So, hit them up, Justice of the Pies. Give a warm narrative podcast round of applause for Maya Camillo Brossard and Justice of the Pies. All right, moving right along. And my next or my very last business I'll be talking about in this section, the highlight section, is It's All Good Bakery. And it's interesting that she named it that because this is like, it said all around the world, but it was, around the time that she opened this business, it was notorious, like notorious slang on the West Coast. Like everybody said it all over the world, but like they went hard in the paint on the West Coast with this. It's All Good Bakery is in Oakland, California. It was opened and went into business in 1996 by one Miss Kim Cloud, a former rapper. It used to be the former headquarters of the Black Panther Party, and it still kind of serves the community today. It's used to host all kinds of events. She also, hires her own and does all kinds of, you know, community activism in that right, selling the product, teaching other, servicing the community, give them, confectionery treats. Um, Pretty much a food desert in that area, but she services the community. She hires her own and does all kinds of other philanthropy and activism. Um, I'm gonna have to just hit her up right quick because the name sounds really familiar. What was the album? Because it seems like, because I was a big West Coast hip hop head, it seems like I should have just picked that up. To do my Googles right up here, that just kind of piqued my interest. Nah, the old album's not coming up. But let me see. Oh, anyway, so it just said it in that when I hit it up. That's who used to rap back in the day. I probably I do my lives, so I probably if I find it, I'll hit you up. I'll just keep a little mental note. Probably hit you up on when I do a live. I go random lives during the weekday, so this is a full episode of the Narrator podcast. So keep that timeline. I'm gonna keep it pushing. That is the end of our highlight section. So give it up for Kim Cloud and It's All Good Bakery. All right, keeping it going, keeping it going. My next section is the spotlight section. And in this section, what I'm doing is spotlighting prominent figures in our community. And the figures I spotlight in our community are in the entertainment industry. They're usually actors, actresses, comedians, writers, public figures, um, recording artists, just anybody in the eye of the public that's representing us well. Is a good outward representation of us. They do some type of activism, give back to the community, do philanthropy, speak highly of our experience here in America and abroad, and just really champion the cause in some type of way, in some type of facet. Some of them do all the above. Some of them only do what they can do. I also highlight those that just conduct themselves a certain way. And, my sidebar that I'm going to keep on saying until it keeps not being true, which it will never not be true. I started the wave for spotlighting because before I added the spotlight to my podcast, nobody online was spotlighting anybody. Nobody, no YouTubers, nobody was spotlighting nobody. So let's talk about it. But anyway, today's spotlight, narrative podcast spotlight, goes to the one, the only, the incomparable. At this point, she's incomparable because she's just doing everything. Miss Issa Rae. Born Joe Issa Rae, June 12th, 1985. Says she was, again, for the time, it's more complex than that. I'm just keeping it streamlined, keeping it flowing, keeping it going. You know what I'm saying? Pardon Maryland. Maryland by the way of Senegal. Her early days, let me see, high school. She did some high school over there too. She was involved in some studies. But anyway, we're going to just get right to it. I mean, you can do your own Googles. Again, I can just go on hours and hours. I ain't trying to be like rude or funny, but she's just doing so much. She got such a rich, full background to be so young, to be so accomplished. So she got her big break with the YouTube series Awkward Black Girl, and after that, you know, as they say in the industry, it was a wrap. So since then, she's done, or she was actually doing stand-up comedy when she was doing Awkward Black Girl. So stand-up comedy, acting, writing, producing, just hit after hit after hit after hit. You know, she just keeps going. She doesn't really appear to have a ceiling. She's like one of the greatest content creators of our time right now. Super positive, always with the positive vibe. She wins award after award, and the media really be trying to try her to see, you know, where her head's at. And she always tells them where her head's at and where her loyalty's at all given times. Back up a bit, because another thing in my spotlight section I forgot to say that I usually say on every spotlight section, I spotlight those that are, you know, unapologetic about, you know, who we are and, you know, the cause, speaking on the cause. And Issa Rae always speaks on the cause unapologetically, you know, whenever she's interviewed or asked any questions about our people. You know, very good demeanor. She likes seeing her brothers and sisters successful as well. Love seeing everybody win. Like one of her most iconic red carpet speeches. Who are you rooting for? I'm rooting for everybody black in the room. See, I told you I was going to say black. You know, she roots for everybody black. She carries herself and conducts herself in a very good manner. Got that inner beauty, always wearing little to no makeup. So that's good. And, you know, a good example of femininity. It was one little movie I didn't like, you know. But anyway, not trying to take it into a negative. I'm trying to like give her her roses while she's here, but I do keep it real on my platform too. You know, she's a big content creator. It's just like for future projects, like I would like to, you know, see original men represented well in her projects and her endeavors, because we need to see that visual representation of a very strong heterosexual brother that got it together and handling business. We need to see that visual representation because, you know, again, the way the media is trying to spin it, they're trying to, you know, and our sisters don't like it when we call them strong black women. They are feminine, they are delicate, they require love, they need love. We need to see that visual union of us coming together, that brother that got it together, tending to the sister's needs, you know, of course, having his own little vulnerabilities and insecurities and whatnot, but basically being a grown man and standing on grown man business. So that's what we need to see a visual representation of. And she's a content creator, and I would like to see more of that in her projects, because it's just like, in the media, they trying to spin it to where, they're trying to like overly do the black girl magic. They're trying to spin it to like, they don't need a man, period. Like, I got this all by myself, and that's not it, especially in our culture. Our superpower comes from our unity. The original man unified with the original woman. We walking beside each other, complement each other. She got our back, we got her back. They trying to separate us, separate us through finances, separate us through, social and political views, separate us through, class and all that. So we need to, keep a united front at all given times. But other than that, Issa Rae, definitely a pleasure to spotlight her. Super solid sister. Got it together. She's making moves, building her own table and all that, providing opportunities, and championing the cause. And for that, I love that in her, and inspiring all that looks at her. And I see more great things coming for her from her in the future. And it's an honor and a privilege to spotlight her on the Narrative Podcast. Let's give a Narrative Podcast warm rounds of applause for Miss Issa Rae. All right, getting down to the nitty gritty. I only got a couple more sections left, my fine people. This is the health and wellness section. The health and wellness section is basically designed to, promote a healthy, active, fit lifestyle. Why do I feel I need to promote the healthy, active, fit lifestyle? Because, we are at the target of, our people are at the target of so many diseases. We need to keep our minds, bodies, and spirits at the, operating at maximum capacity at all times. And what I do in this section is basically just provide health and wellness tips for full body health and wellness. So like if it's food, if I'm doing a food 1 week, it's like the health benefits of a fruit, vegetable, plant, herb, supplement, what have you. If I'm doing an exercise, a physical exercise, something like, importance of weight training, running, some type of exercise that, improve your physical health. Then I also do like mental health as well, because, you got to keep a sharp mental. So like mindful breathing, reading, meditation, also do, metaphysical stuff in that section as well. And the reason again why I'm doing it, because, we're at the target of so many diseases. With this media playing tricks on our minds and programming us to be, things that we're not, and view ourselves in a certain way. But in addition to that, these little mad scientists are putting things in our food that is harmful to our unique genetic makeup, with, specifically our melanin, to, either rearrange it, dismantle it or just completely destroy it, thus leaving us vulnerable and open to so many other airborne pathogens and skin problems and, you know, mental problems. So we just got to basically armor up. That's what this section is all about, how to stay armored up. So today I'll be going over the health benefits of the good old standby regular schmegular. I can't believe people don't eat enough of these. You know, it's like one of the oldest sayings in the book. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Talking about apples today, y'all. So, first of all, they're good for, you know, pretty much virtually everything. I don't know why they don't call apple a superfood, but they usually give the credits of superfoods to like berries and seeds. But apples also have a plethora of health benefits. The main health benefit is fiber. So if you're struggling with weight loss, you know, eat some apples. They help you stay nice and full. It's a sustainable food source. It's very easy to, you know, plant apples. You know, the tall tale Johnny Appleseed went all over the world planting apples, and that was kind of one of his slogans, how easy it is to plant apples because their seeds, you know, very easy to put in the ground. You don't got to bury them too deep, and like in less than a year, you will see a tree spring up. You know, I think it's like in Norway that they actually somewhere in Europe they put apples, a bag of apples, if they got to own an apple tree, on a fence for like anybody that wants apples. So like that's a good solution to like feed the homeless is to plant fruit trees. I think more cities and states should get in on that action. But anyway, I'm rambling now. I was talking about the health benefits of an apple. So one of the main benefits is fiber, which keeps you full, and then they got another type of fiber called soluble, fiber, which is very good for your heart. So it improves your heart, and you know, also good for the stomach, aids in digestion, because again, fiber, you know, greases the gears that gets the goods gone. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta, you know, one of the main reasons people get sick because they're all bound up. But a good old juicy, nice apple, crisp, will get everything up out of there. There's all kinds of health benefits about the apple, but those are the ones I just want to zero in and focus on. There's a fiber benefit. You know, apples are so, you know, versatile. There are several different varieties of apple. They're all good. Each of them are loaded with, you know, health benefits, vitamins and minerals and nutrients that'll keep you going. Like I said, you can store them. They don't need refrigeration. They're good on the counter. Just pick them and go, and that's probably what you should do. What you shouldn't do is like keep them in the cupboards though, because you know, like gnats and all that. But it's a good versatile food. You can carry it with you anywhere. It doesn't have a foul odor to it. Apples smell very pleasant. And you know, you just really just try to eat as much apples as you can in your diet. You know, you'll live longer and be stronger for it. My favorite apple is like the Golden Delicious. I don't know about y'all. I love me a good Golden Delicious. But anyway, that's it for the health and wellness section. And getting down to the nitty gritty, My speaking point of the day. All right. So, in this section, my speaking point of the day is basically to address current news, either, you know, speaking directly to us, our situation, or, you know, globally, how we look globally. And in the event of, if I don't have either one of those, I'll just, speak from my heart about just an observation about us as a people. And I think today is one of those days because I think nothing really super duper, you know, current in the news that I haven't already spoken about. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna just get to it. Today's speaking point is love. You know, like love is a loosely used term, I believe. People use that use loosely. Some people use it as an expression of emotion to express, their love for you. They care about you. They got love for you. I'm in love with you. Um, Others use it to, manipulate you and control you. I love you. And then put terms and conditions on the love. And now I'm bringing it back into focus. What do you mean, Halsey? What's that got to do with us as a people? That sounds like relationship advice. You don't do relationship advice. No, I sure don't. We got a lot of fake love going around within our community and outside of our community. We got actual activists, and then we got activists. And we'll be well to know the difference between the two. Like who got love for real and who's just there for the cameras. Who's walking the walk, who's talking the talk. And the most perfect example I can give is during the summer when they was having the peaceful protest. Oh, I love you. I love everybody. I love all human beings. I think we should all just, come together and just kumbaya and I love everybody. Love, 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 love. But they wasn't loving us before George Floyd. They wasn't loving us before Breonna Taylor. Where was all that love then? Where was all that love from the time America got conceived all the way up until all those things happened? Where was all that love then? Where was all that love in the civil rights era? Where was all that love when they killed Emmett Till? They loved us so much. All these all these peaceful protests. And then they just out of nowhere, right around election time, just stopped. When it got closer and closer to election times, the numbers started dwindling. All these people, they love everybody. Like getting closer and closer to election time, I love you, I love you. Then the numbers started dwindling. Then Biden got in, and then no more peaceful protests. Everybody went on to their own lives, their own situations, and back into their own skin that they were in. And ain't saw nothing on social media talking about I love you no more. What's that old song? Love doesn't live here anymore. The love. Gotta watch out for that. That's a tricky little word. You gotta be aware of the activists and the activists. Sure, we had abolitionists that helped us. Sure, we had a whole lot of people that helped us and are helping us. Not gonna lie, not gonna front. There are some, people outside of our culture that are actually even more committed to us winning than some of us that are like actively in our culture. There's some people actively in our culture paid by the powers to be, sponsored by the powers to be to get on their platforms and pretend that they love us, but then actually what they only really love is themselves and that money. And they'll prove it with their actions. Like they're talking all this love stuff right now. Oh, he or she, whichever one it is, are just, oh, they're so good and they love us and that's a good brother, that's a good sister. But then soon as some pressure get on them, then they're not so boisterous anymore. They're quiet. They're silent. They do what they're told. They're neutral when that pressure gets applied to them. They don't got nothing to say no more. No comment. Next question. And I understand as human beings, you don't always want to talk about that. You don't always, especially if you're an entertainer, you don't want the camera always up in your face like, because some of it should be rudimentary, right? As of now, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? Whatever. I know you don't feel like that all the time, but there are some people just out here acting like they with it. And they're not really with it. Pump faking, acting like they love somebody and they don't. So you got to recognize who's an activist and who's an activist. Excuse me. That'll do it for my final or speaking point of the day. And rounding this thing out is my final thought of the day. My final thought of today is usually a gem, a pearl of wisdom, something that help you resonate. Just something to resonate and be like, I never thought about it like that. Or just, something to evoke critical thinking. Just something to have you ponder. Gem, jewel, pearl of wisdom, whatever you want to call it. So today's final thought of the day here on the Narrator podcast is silence. Yep. Silence. That's something you have to do from time to time, because there's some situations, where it requires you to be quiet. You got to know when to be quiet and when to use your voice. Silence is an answer. Silence helps you find answers. When you're struggling with something, when you're not sure about something, just be quiet and it will all be revealed. Now, like when you're talking to somebody and they're quiet when you ask them something, that's the answer. Like, just for instance, if you cook something, you want to know, like, how it tastes. Like, what is it bomb or is it nasty? Ask somebody like, yo, you like this? And if they don't say nothing right away, then like they just take a couple bites and don't say nothing. Nasty, bro. They finna, like, right when you turn your back, they're gonna turn their plate upside down in the garbage to avoid hurting your feelings. But that's your answer. The silence is the answer. They didn't say nothing. They didn't like it. When you're pondering something and you're thinking about something, you have to be quiet for the answer to come. Silence reveals and helps you find that hidden truth, that hidden meaning Because if you're always talking and talking and talking and yapping, you're going to miss out on, what the person was really saying. Especially like when you're dealing with people, fast talking people, it's always trying to get one over on you. Just be quiet. Play the background. Watch them. Don't listen to what they're saying. Just watch them. Watch how they move. Watch how they carry and conduct themselves. Be silent. Silence is definitely better than going back and forth with people, arguing. Helps you reduce stress being quiet. What's the age-old saying? For all the steppers or people that swear they be stepping, killers move in silence. And I'm not advocating or condoning violence. I'm just saying it kind of applies in every facet of life when you think. Like killers move in silence. People love to get on this social media and announce all their moves. I'm going to tell all their business. Tell all their relationship business. They be sitting up there going out with babe, post a little picture. Look what my honey bought me. Babe can cook for it. Babe can cook. And then like they wonder why all they get this like tumultuous friction in the relationship, because now you're putting it online. You're giving people a platform to have an opinion about you. Then you got the women sliding up in the man's DM, and then you got the men sliding up in your woman's DM. If I was your man, you wouldn't have to worry about that. Just be quiet sometimes. A smile is as good as a nod. Yes, sir. Be quiet. Silence reveals everything. It helps you drown out all that noise, all that double talking, all that fast talking. If you just be quiet sometimes. Like, especially in our culture, like when you get pulled over by the police, I done watched it millions of times online. People just sit up there and talk themselves into an arrest. And all they got to do is just be quiet. They trying to scream on the police officer like they got it like that. And I know my rights. And just shut the hell up, man. Be quiet. Well, that'll do it for this episode of the Narrator Podcast. That was my final thought of the day, silence. So join me next week for another full episode of the Narrator Podcast. Make sure you download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrator Podcast to help me keep my platform growing and leveling up. So, I can do my part to help the cause. Also, download this episode of the Narrative Podcast and also, I already said that. Help support my personal poetry blog, Halsey's Poetry Corner, at www.mrhalseysblogs.com. And the way you do that is simply by sharing all my poems from Halsey's Poetry Corner on all your platforms. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Tumblr, whatever you got. Share one of my poems from Halsey's Poetry Corner. It's on blogger.com, powered by Adam. I got all kinds of projects in the works. The platform is growing. I'm getting better, getting stronger. Participation is at an all-time high. I got an online presence. I'm turning into a whole actual thing. Thanks for all the love. Thanks for all the support. Appreciate all, the activity. Thank you so much. One more thing before I get up out of here. We need to keep the talk of reparations going. That's a thing. We never need to let anything going on in the media right now distract us from it. I wanted to take this special opportunity to, salute Tariq Nasheed. for organizing the first annual reparations rally. It went down in D.C. today. He had a plethora of speakers. Amongst them were Dr. Kaba, Risa Islam. I don't know if he came or if he didn't. Like, it was advertised, and then I stopped seeing them advertised on the billboard, but I don't know. Hopefully, he brother came. It was like from like 11 to like 3 today in DC. So we definitely need to keep the conversation going. If you don't have any talks of reparations in your neck of the woods, do what you can do to get it going, get some reparations chapters organized in whatever states you're in, because we need to keep that conversation going. We need to get it on the ballot. We need to have them sign that into law. We need some tangibles. If we all stick together, unified, we will get that. So think positively about that. Don't be so negative. Don't be so disgruntled, believing that you won't get it. And for all those that just hell bent on us not getting it, or thinking we're not going to get it, I tell you what, when it gets signed into law, don't spend a dime of it. Don't spend whatever tangibles when it gets signed into law. Don't spend a dime of it, since you don't believe it's going to happen. Don't sign up for any other aid. Don't prove that you're your FBA. Just don't touch the money when we get it. That's what you do. Don't touch a dime of it. If you don't believe in the reparations, if you believe we're never going to get it. But anyway, we definitely need to keep the conversation going. Like I said, thanks everybody for listening. Make sure you download this episode of the Narrator Podcast or previously recorded episodes of the Narrator Podcast. Please support my poetry blog, Halsey's Poetry Corner, on www.mrhalseysblogs.com. Also, make sure to tune into the Narrator Podcast on a regular basis as I go live quite frequently. And quite randomly, I go do random lives during the week. So tune into the Narrator Podcast regularly to avoid missing me when I'm live. You can follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Halsey Allen, and click your notification bell so you don't miss me when I'm live. And then also on Twitter, Halsey Allen as well on Twitter. Because on this audio platform, I broadcast to Twitter and YouTube, like as I'm doing the live feed. So you don't want to miss out on that. Always good content on here. Always positivity. So join in on the fun. Become a narrator. Spread the message around of how important it is to share positive content about original people, original culture. So this has been another full broadcast of the Narrator Podcast. Narrator Podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about original people and original culture. So this has been another full, episode of the Narrator Podcast coming to an end now. Narrator Podcast, Halsey Allen signing off, and it's like that.
Set your place on fire.
Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.